So, Chapter 8, Section 3 is on line-angle relationships. And once again, we're going to start with our vocabulary words. Perpendicular, that's a U, sorry. Perpendicular are lines that meet at 90 degrees. And that looks like this. We have a little shorthand for that, so you can say line AB is perpendicular to line CD because we love shorthand. And then we have parallel lines. These are lines that go in the same direction in the same plane. And that shorthand is right here. It looks like the two L's in the middle of parallel. Help you spell it. And then we have skew lines. Now, skew lines are the lines that don't cross and they aren't in the same plane. Now, for this I had to draw you a box. A skew line, here's one line on the box. And here's another line on the box, and these two lines never cross. They're not in the same plane. They're not going in the same direction. They're never going to touch. These are what's called skew. So, we're going to start with a little quiz. So what I'd like you to do is tell me if it's perpendicular, parallel, or skew. So I've drawn you another little box, and all of these lines keep going in all directions. And that's a G. And that's an F. So I'd like you to go through right now, 1, 2, 3, and just write the sign for perpendicular, the sign for parallel, or the actual word skew. Take a minute to do that. Push pause. Restart when you're done. Line AC and line CD meet right here at a 90-degree angle. So these two lines are perpendicular. Line BD and line GF, these lines are not in the same plane and they will never meet. These lines are skew. Line AE and line DG, these are going in the same direction and will forever and always. These lines are parallel. How'd you do? Next set of vocabulary words, we're looking at adjacent angles. Adjacent means next to, and if you're not familiar with that, then write it next to it. Adjacent angles have a common vertex, which is the central point. They have a common side, a common ray, and they have no common space, which means it's not like, I don't want to write on this. Here, I will write on this. A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's see. It's not A, E, F, and B, E, C. There's no overlap. None of that. They share a point, they share a line, but they don't overlap, so there's no common space. For example, angle AEB and angle BEC share a vertex and they share a ray. So they are adjacent angles. They're next to each other. Now, the cool thing about adjacent angles, when they're formed with two lines that intersect, is that what you do is you end up making a straight angle. Angle AEC is a straight angle. It's a straight line. It's 180 degrees. So the measure of angle AEB plus the measure of angle BEC equals 180 because they're supplementary. Remember that from yesterday, day before? Yesterday. Now we're going to take this idea of adjacent angles and include vertical angles. Vertical angles are opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines. So here we have two lines that intersect. They make an X. Very complicated. So for example, angles MQN and angle PQO. This angle and this angle. They are opposite each other. And that means they're equal. This angle is equal to this angle. And we can show that, do you remember these lines? We can show that they're equal. We can also show that this angle and its opposite, this angle, are equal, but they're not the same as these. So they're vertical angles, they're across from each other, and they're equal. Our next vocabulary word is transversal. A transversal is a line crossing two parallel lines to make vertical angles. So this line here is the transversal to these two parallel lines. So let's give these two lines a name. This line is line L and this line is line M. And line L and line M are parallel. I have to be told that ahead of time. Now for the transversal, this transversal, it makes an X here, and it makes an X here, and it makes an X in the same angle measurements. As long as these two lines are parallel, then these are going to be the same as these. Now, you can take advantage of that. Let's number these. We're going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, we don't have to do a whole bunch of little points. We can just say, look, it's angle 1, angle 1. Now, we know that angle 1 and angle 3 are the same. But the cool thing about a transversal is that we also know that that same angle measurement is here and here. Angle 5 and angle 7 are equal, and they're equal to angle 1 and angle 3. So if I tell you that angle 1 is, how big does it look? 40 degrees. Let's say 40 degrees. Well, angle 3 is 40 degrees, and angle 5 is 40 degrees, and angle 7 is 40 degrees, which is very cool. We can do the same thing with 2 and 4. We know that 2 and 4 equal each other, and because this is a transversal of two parallel lines, we also know that 6 and 8 are equal. Great relationships to understand here. This will help you playing pool, I promise. Eventually, we will talk about that. But here we go. Now the question is, well, how much is this? If you'll notice, this is a straight line, this is a straight line. So if you look at the entire straight angle, this straight angle, I know that this plus this has to equal 180 degrees. So this is going to equal 40 plus whatever that is. What is that? Well, suddenly I know that this is 140 degrees. And if this is 140 degrees, then this is 140 degrees, and this is 140 degrees, and this is 100, and now you're done. Ta-da! You filled them all in, and all you had was one angle measurement to start with. But because you know the relationships, you can figure them out. All right, next up, you get your own to play with. So here you have line P and line N are parallel. And I've got these groovy little arrows. This arrow and this arrow actually means this line is parallel to this line. So line P and line N are parallel, and this line is the transversal, and I'm telling you that the measure of angle 6 equals 55 degrees. Find the measure of all the angles. So number on your paper 1 to 8 and put the measure of all of the angles in there. Pause while you do that. All right. Now, we know if angle 6 is 55, then angle 8 is also going to be 55. And because these two are the same as these two, then angle 1 is 55, and angle 3 is 55. And because this is 180 degrees, then 180 minus 55 is 25, right? Yes. Which means, oh, haha, that makes sense, that all of these are 125, and please don't forget the degree sign. How'd you do? So, last but not least, oh, we're done. All right. So now it's your turn. Your job to show me tomorrow is going to be on top here. Tell me if it's sorry about it, it's rubbing off. Perpendicular, parallel, or skew. And I've got the lines from this box. And then these four, you're going to find the angle measurements from this set of angles, knowing that line J and line K are parallel and this is a transversal. Okay? When you're done, I need you to go through and put stars next to the easy things. I need you to put a hazard symbol next to the things you're still not sure about that you need us to talk about tomorrow. And I need you to please put any questions that you have across the bottom. Thank you very much. I will check this off tomorrow. Have a lovely evening.